Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us to America for a purpose. We came here alone. Why did we come here? To get higher education, etc., etc. And we migrated. And this was the one sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, go to sea if you have to learn knowledge. So alhamdulillah, we are here doing that. Now, so America is our country. We are American Muslims. So if this is our country, we have to make our country beautiful and do everything to make it prosperous and good for everybody, irrespective of their religion, their science, irrespective of their color, ethnicity, etc. Now, how are we going to do that? There are certain ways to do that. I'm going to point briefly on that because of shortage of time. Number one, we should make a point that nobody in America sleeps hungry or do not have a short shelter and do not have a job. And also, first thing is, we should develop soup kitchens. All centers should have soup kitchens. If we can't afford it, at least we can support the soup kitchens that are already running with our volunteer help and financially and otherwise. At least we'll make sure nobody sleeps hungry in America. Right now the statistics are that one person in America, irrespective of their color, race or religion, sleeps with one meal a day. The most richest country on earth, the most prosperous country, what a shame, what a shame. Then, when we first came here in the 30s, America was the envy of the world. America was first in science, math and technology. Now America is 25th in science and technology. Why? They have condemned the education. There's one dropout of high school student out of every 4. So what do you expect? And the constitution fees for the colleges is outrageous and ridiculous. And if you read Wall Street last year, they said, do not go to college. It's waste of time. Do some business, work somewhere. You spend $1 million, $500,000 to get a degree, you can't even get a job. So anyway, in our capacity, we should help those, give scholarship to those people who want to learn science and technology to advance America. Now this is a silent form of dawah. Something very simple we can all do. Send school supplies. You'll be surprised how many schools there are in every city that it cannot afford school supplies, cannot afford notebooks and even pencils. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَتَعَاوَنُوا بِالْبِرِّ وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا بِالْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. No, help people in doing good and do not help them in doing bad and disobedience. My wife, alhamdulillah, spearheaded a project working with CARE, Clifton Masjid, Islamic Cincinnati. We actually accumulated $3,000, and in one school of 400 students, we supplied them school supplies for an entire year. It was very much appreciated. It was in the media, in the newspaper, in the television, Muslims supporting non-Muslim schools. So that's a silent form of dawah, service to humanity. So alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Now let me tell you something very simple. Besides the regular education of doctors, engineers, etc., there are state colleges which teach you skills of plumbing, electrician, construction, etc. Now let me tell you a sad reality. You call a plumber in your house, he will take $70 to enter your house, and when he will do half an hour work, he will put you a bill of $400. It's not a joke anymore. A man did that. The plumber came, worked for 20 minutes, and gave me a bill of $400. The person said, man, you should have been a doctor. And the plumber said, I was. So here, this is the fact of life and not a joke anymore. So we can help the people to get the technical skills. Give them scholarships, Muslims and non-Muslims, and tell them, look, when you graduate, you serve the community, Muslims and Muslims, at an affordable rate. And number two, put some money in a pool so that we can continue with the project, forever. Third thing, build houses and shelters for people. In Columbus, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Islamic Association of North America had their convention. And they built a house right in the convention. With Jimmy Carter brought his crew. And all of us were there pushing one nail or the other just as a token. We completed the house and we sent it to New Orleans after Katrina. So this is the service Muslims provided in their conventions, from the centers and everywhere else. This is a practical example. So we should continue to help, work with Jimmy Carter and his Habitat of Humanity to build houses and give people free accommodations. And Alhamdulillah, I support Jimmy Carter Association, and Jimmy Carter and his wife personally handwritten notes of thank you to me. And this brings tears to my eyes. Another very significant thing is we have to concern on the social side domestic violence. This is a curse, not allowed by any religion, especially Islam, and there is no place to domestic violence in Islam. And we should make seminars and things to help Muslims and non-Muslims. But here I am concerned with our Muslims, our youth, when they are in grade 9, 11th and 12th. That's the most important time, they are 16, 17 or 18, that we should teach them the rights of men and women, what happens in a marriage, what happens in a divorce, and what happens in domestic disharmony. How to deal when the parents are quarreling, brothers and sisters are quarreling, divorce is happening. When we came, the divorce rate was 1%, now it is reaching 40%. Shame on us. What happened to us? Why did we neglect our son? Now, the solution is, in 9th, 10th and 11th grade, we should give 10 hours of instructions to our youth, telling them the rights of the husband and wife, the parents, the relatives, the neighbors, and everybody else, and how to deal with the process of anger and domestic violence. Not only give them lectures, but we should teach them, give them a test like we give them in science and math, and see what they have learned. And when we get the answer and we see there are students who are angry, there are students who don't understand this problem, we should provide counseling for them and help, psychological help for them. The reason is, once they graduate from high school, they are lost in college. There is MSA, but they don't care to join that. They don't come to Jummah prayer. They are away from the mainstream line. And what happens? Under the peer pressure, they get amalgamated with the American colleges or universities. They get into alcohol, drugs. They get into other things, and deliberately or unconsciously, they acquire sexually transmitted diseases, which is a curse that gets invented for generations to come. So we have to be careful, particularly for our youth. And if we neglect that our youth is going to be asked us, nobody told us. Nobody told us what is domestic violence. Nobody told us how to manage anger. So why are you blaming us? So brothers and sisters, think of future. Everybody should think about it for the family and for the school. Sunday school or regular school. Now, looking at your faces, I see a question mark. And the question is nitty-gritty. Where is that money coming from? How will you get the money to do all these projects? Well, the answer of Allah is very simple. Two institutions. One is Baitul Mal. This is an institution of zakat, collection and distribution. Baitul Mal is such a wonderful institution. Muhammad started it and was perfected by Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Baitul Mal, the West has copied the concept of Baitul Mal, and this welfare system that we have in Europe and America is based on Baitul Mal. I don't have time, otherwise I would have given you the history of what happened. Now, with Baitul Mal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, anybody who's got something useful and not an extra, give it to the Baitul Mal. And a person who needs it, take it from the Baitul Mal free. So these are protected and it's not a burden on the giver or the burden on the person who takes. And then of course zakat, a wonderful thing. Zakat and salat has been mentioned 250 times in the Quran. And you ask a question, why? You would have said 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. Why 250 times? And then salat, zakat, salat, zakat, salat, zakat. So it means that your salat is not accepted unless you pay your zakat properly. And if you don't pay your zakat properly, your salat is not accepted, your fasting is not accepted, your hajj is not accepted. Because you say shahada, but what is the practicality of shahada is on the other pillars. If you neglect one pillar, all your effort is wasted. So please you have to understand that zakat is so important. Only 2.5% at the end of the year of what is left. And I'll tell you what, with all the calculations I've done in research in the last 20 years, if every Muslim pays their zakat properly, we can raise $5 billion a year. And imagine if you collected in the last 25 years, multiply by that, we could have raised more than $1 trillion a year. Then would we need any fundraising? Would we need anything? We should have our own hospitals, our clinics, our businesses, our other things, help other people. So zakat is a trump card Allah has given us to take care of all our social needs and our physical needs. Now, after Muhammad passed away, some Sahaba Karam said, well, we'll make salat, we'll make hajj, we'll not pay zakat. Abu Bakr Siddiq was very upset with that, and he first admonished them and educated them and tell them, look, you have to pay zakat, you cannot neglect zakat. And if anybody neglects zakat, I'll make jihad against it. And he did, and then people were forced to pay zakat. Now suppose Abu Bakr Siddiq became soft and did not worry about it, Islam would have fizzled in 6 months. We wouldn't have been here that we are here. So you can see a significance around something very simple, affordable, and a solution for the entire humanity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to understand the wisdom of the Quran. Let me point out a few other things. Islamic banking. Now we all have to put our money somewhere. Now the regular Islamic banking is interest-based, but Islamic banking is non-interest-based. When Islamic banking came, people did not have proper education, and what they were doing, they were sugar-coating the regular banking and call it Islamic banking. This happened in Saudi, in Qatar, other places, but later on the scholars educated people. There are ways where you can do Islamic banking without interest. So finally it got hold in Dubai and Emirates, and now in Europe and in Canada. In Europe, 20% of Christians and Jews use Islamic banking, because some of the people, they know the interest is haram. Even Jews and Christians in that, and they put their money, their pension plan and everything in Islamic banking. It's happening in Canada, and it has begun to come back in America. Now, we don't have Islamic bank here, but there's one in Michigan, and there in California, and all big cities. We need education. We know those financial advisors, Dr. Yaqub Mirza, and the Azad Management and many other institutions to come here and educate us what is the difference between an interest-bearing banking and non-interest bearing. Brothers and sisters, we need to control our finances. It's our money. We need to control. I'm not saying that we should isolate ourselves from just Islamic. No, work with the regular banks as well. But when it comes to investing the money, find a halal way to invest it. There is Dow Jones Islamic Index that you can use. You see, here is the problem. A lot of people say, oh, with Islamic bank there is loss and you may get 3-4%. But regular banking will make 15%. So why not make 15%? They put money, make 15%, whether it is halal or haram. And then after that money, they generally donate money to Islamic centers and everywhere else. This is not accepted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only accepts sadaqah zakat, which is halal and tayyib. Another interesting thing, our food consumption and nutrition. Well, listen, Chinese brought Chinese food here. Italian brought pizza and lasagna. The Mexican brought taco, burger and salsa and what else. What did we bring? We got the most delicious food. We got baklava and all kinds of delicious food. What's our problem? We do not know how to market it. I go to Muslim restaurants and things are there, and believe me, the Muslim restaurants are running not because Muslims eat there. Muslims don't eat too much there, maybe once a week. It's too expensive. But non-Muslims go there because of the snacks Muslims provide. I talk to the manager and they say, look, why don't you have an open house and say for half a day, anybody who walks in the restaurant will get free Muslim food, baklava food, etc. And invite the mayor, senators, congressmen, and the police people and the fire department. When these people come to your restaurant, the media follow. There is free publicity. And by this free publicity, people will come to know about the Muslim food. And by Muslim food, which is very important, this is a silent form of dawah. What a wonderful to think in a very inexpensive way. Finally, we should be media savvy. Whatever projects we do, we make sure media is there so they can put it in a nice way. If we put something, for example, if public television shows you Muhammad, the legacy of the Prophet, and it was shown in 750 television public stations, what should we do? We should call them, send them an email, and not only just lip service, send them a donation. Become a member, $50 a family per year. Suppose we put $50 million to NPR and public television. They will put you on the election book. They will say, well, what do you want to see? What do you want to hear? We'll provide you what you want to hear. And there are so many. There is one very nice documentary they put, One God and Three Faiths. It was such a wonderful documentary that rabbis and Christians were talking positive about Islam. They found the commonalities and they told us, hey, no, Islam is a wonderful religion. They talked about the Asura, they talked about all the other things they say. So brothers and sisters, if you see something on the television, call them, send them an email, become a member. Nothing works without the money. To produce a document, it costs millions of dollars, and it costs your pocket $50. So we have to be media savvy. I mean, with all the garbage you will see, even if you get 10% of coverage of our Muslim activities, it's a wonderful sign of dawah and because Islamophobia. Brothers and sisters, we should continue our interfaith dialogues and our things that we do with fathers, etc. But the most important thing, we should put our money where our mouth is. Because unless we do these projects in a very nice, compassionate way, we will not be fulfilling the responsibility Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us.